Eddie, scream.
Ah!
Scream like you're mad David just did something stupid.
How about that?
Try again.
I can't now. Ashes is here. David, you scream.
Ah!
Alright. Fuck it. It's good, probably.
Okay, I'm not even gonna say what do you guys remember, so I'm just gonna. This is how we're gonna start it off.
We were at that castle.
I was like level 10. I had just gotten
No.
done
Nah,
walking up to wherever
nah.
the gold is.
Nope. I'm gonna ask you guys a few questions, and I'm basically gonna do your origins. And I don't think that's a secret. It's not gonna be that long, but I'm gonna ask you guys a few questions. Eddie's gonna be up first. Ed, what was the place called that was home to the Knights congregation?
You know, that's a good question, and I don't know.
Make it up.
Fuck. We're gonna call it.
The Council of Eight.
Chump. We're going to call it Mist Fallfields. Whatever.
Mist Fallfields. Is it like IMST or MISSED?
MYST?
Whatever you think of when you think of like fog and mist.
It's black, and then we hear this rough sound of snow, of this blizzard going on, and then the camera hard cuts to the shot of a mountain, because it's a mountain, correct?
Yeah, it's a fucking mountain.
The camera hard cuts to a shot of it, and then we slowly fade into another shot of the mountain, but closer. And I want you to tell me, like, what is the vibe, and what are the people like inside this mountain?
Like, what's the vibe, bro? Is it like good vibes, bro? Or are they gonna be hating on my duo, bro? Only good vibes.
What's going on, bro? So, with the mountain, I would say that because it's controlled by the fucking Knights congregation, most of the mountain is just covered in snow, normal mountain. But near the top of it, there is it's like black marble, really just shiny black marble. And there are giant stone bats. Maybe not bats, but some creatures carved into the black marble around this grand entrance. The entrance of it would kind of be like the entrance to a giant dwarf keep from Lord of the Rings or something, but a bit smaller. So these giant fucking black doors, these gigantic black doors with all these symbols and runes carved into them, then just black marble pathway, spooky ass black sculptures carved into the marble. And the people inside the Knights congregation, I would imagine them to be fairly brutal people. They would probably kill you simply on the premise that they thought you were weak or something. Like, like, you don't meet my standards, you don't really deserve to live. Not only that, but they really, really, really keep to themselves. Most of them do not like going and talking to other people, to outsiders. So they're very secluded, a very kind of, rough people, but they do, respect and treat their own well.
Do they talk, or do they have fun, or is it more like a very serious nature with each other?
They talk and they have fun in their own way. Most of them just kind of train in forms of dark magic. Some of them have some training in necromancy. A lot of them train to be assassins. So it's not completely serious. Like, they do have fun and stuff like that, but everything in there is just kind of a darker tone to it. And their whole outlook on the world is that only the smartest or the strongest should
prevail.
Eugenics, kinda. But yeah, it just apocalypse, that whole fucking view from X-Men.
What was the name of the main guy again?
That would be High Lord Malik.
Malik. Okay, I had Mortis written down.
Yeah, good thing.
And what's
That's
he?
not it.
What's he like?
Malik, the best way I could describe him is think of like Walter White mixed with Clay from Sons of Anarchy. If you can somehow picture that. Malik is extremely intelligent. He's very smart, very cunning, and he is a master at alchemy. He is extremely fucking good at alchemy, enchanting, making potions, stuff like that, and he has a lot of history in dark magic. He's not world-renowned, but he is a famous dark sorcerer. People do know who he is. He has gained some kind of prestige. He's a very dangerous dark sorcerer, and he will do whatever he has to keep the Knights Congregation going, to keep the Order alive.
So here's how it's going to open up then. It's going to open up into a dark room with the only light being poured out of these potions of vials. And you see Malik there, and he's helping you, Howland, trying to create... what are you guys trying to create?
He is trying to show me how to create a teleportation potion.
Ooh, I like it. And he says, just as you're about to pour this final drop, and he says, "Be careful. One drop, your blood could become acid."
Jesus Christ. And I look at him and I'm like, alright, I think I got this. I hope I've got it.
Roll a d20.
Shit. Don't make me look like a bitch! That's not terrible. Right?
Yeah, what do you have to Arcana? So it's 7 plus whatever you have on Arcana.
Oh, fuck. Let me whip out the fucking sheet!
You don't have your sheet.
My intelligence is 16, and I've got a +3.
Okay,
that.
so that's a 10. As you drop it into it, it starts to foam over, and as it starts to foam over, it starts to explode, but in a second, Malik forms this weird aura around the bottle as it explodes, and then the aura turns to glass and just shatters to the floor. And,
Shit.
do you want to come up with his color, or should I?
For Malik, I feel like it would be yellowish orange.
So it's like a yellowy red. Do you want to come up with the name of the color?
Yellowy red.
I'm going to call it a wisp of flame or something like that.
Yeah, sure, that.
Wisp.
I would say it's like the inner core of it is red with yellow tones to the outside. What just happened? I basically fucked up and dropped the shit on the floor, or it exploded on the floor.
It exploded, but Malik created a barrier to keep it from exploding, and then it shattered.
And now it's on the floor? Or is he holding it all together? Because if it's on the floor, I'm gonna try to be polite and kind of just, sweep it up with Mage Hand. Try to be alright with that.
Well, what was your reaction to the explosion?
I was kind of ashamed. I was like, God damn it. Because I was really not trying to... I wasn't trying to fuck that up, but, apparently, the robot gods that control this bullshit server had other plans. God damn it.
He smiles, and he's got this kind of toothy grin to it. He didn't want you to fail. He's smiling at your reaction to your failure. He just says, "Don't worry. In time, you'll be able to do something like this." And he takes out another vial, puts in the same potion, and then puts a tiny drop into it, and it turns invisible along with the vial and part of his hand.
Jesus Christ.
He says, "So, what are your plans for today after this lesson?"
Shit. Well, gosh, man, I didn't really plan on too much outside of doing this one thing that I didn't want to fail. But, I was really thinking that I might bring back a human test subject. How do you feel about that?
Yes, go ahead. Do you even have to ask?
No, I suppose not. But do you have preferences?
In type of human tests, it depends on what you're trying to do. If you want to turn them to liquid, then that would be a much taller victim.
I'm thinking a potion that allows me to have complete control over someone's actions. How do you think we'd go about that?
He crosses his arms and he smiles, and he says, "That is some powerful magic. Why do you think you're so ready for such a task?"
It's not that I think I'm ready, but I think I'm ready to begin.
He smiles and he says, "First task, then. Let me ask you a question."
No.
Howland.
I'm...
His hand just barely touches the hilt of this cane he's been using, touches this little top of it that has this black shard of crystal, and he touches that a little bit, and then he says, "Why do you wish to harness this power?"
Isn't it obvious? I want to grow strong, young High Lord. Well, I should say old, because, we're being honest, you are old. You're pretty old. And some might consider that rude, but in all honesty, I think we're just being truthful here. But I'm on my way to becoming the greatest dark sorcerer this land has ever seen.
He laughs.
And
He laughs a lot.
Fuck! God, quit making me look like a bitch, dude. Come on. I feel so outclassed.
You'll get to be as powerful as I am in due time, but in order for that to happen, you have to become, what was it you called? Old? And he smiles again.
Yes.
And he says, you want to control their minds.
But of course.
One of the nearby villages. Steal them.
David, I need you to do me a favor. Make him sound a little bit more Australian-y. Think like Kano from Mortal Kombat.
I'll send them. I'll send them back to get another one. Just for you, so you can learn.
Yes. That would be lovely.
Now, in the meantime, someone told me that you have a surprise waiting for you in your room.
Oh, we talking death threats, or we talking like birthday surprise here? What's it going to?
It's funny you say that. You say that he opens the door and closes it as you leave. Would Howland tell anyone his birthday?
Very, very few people. Like, not many. He wouldn't go out and just tell somebody that, but if it was somebody he fairly trusted, pretty good amount, I think he'd, talk about it.
Okay, so this is like when you're the most comfortable around the people around you. Would you have told Rib your birthday?
At this point, not yet.
Okay. That's all I needed to ask. You head down the pathways of this cavernous looking place with these weird green auras surrounding these sticks on the wall to create light, and you find your room. What do you do?
I'm getting ready with fucking Mage Hand. Like, I have got that ready to go as I'm opening that door.
Alright, you open the door, roll a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, rolling d20.
Oof. You roll a d20, and you got a 6, and what's that plus your saving throw?
I've got a +1 for dexterity.
So a 7. You have the Mage Hand ready. You open the door, and a bucket of water falls off of it and hits you. The bucket doesn't do any damage, but you're drenched now. And you hear a laugh in your room. And once you look up, you see your friend Rhea Embers. She's a very short woman. She has this cloak on. It's dark, but it also has layers of light to it, like little embroiderings in it that make it stand out from the rest. And she's laughing. She's laughing hard with her long black hair draped down to her shoulders.
How close is she to me?
In terms of personality, or...
No, how close is she from me in the room?
She's 10 feet away.
Do I still have Mage Hand ready?
Yeah, you have Mage Hand ready.
Is there a window in my room?
Tell me.
Yes, there's a big fucking window.
But it's also it's inside. Where would it be going?
Out. David, we're on a mountain.
Right, so you want her to...
It would be overlooking the mountain edge.
Okay, cool.
Okay. I just look at her as she's laughing, and I'm like, I bet that you think this is pretty fucking funny, don't you?
She nods.
You want to know what I think is really funny? You want to see my idea? What a funny prank is?
What's funny?
Okay, I am going to grab her with my Mage Hand. I am grabbing this bitch. I'm so mad.
I'm gonna say she doesn't put up any resistance.
I'm squeezing her. Oh,
her she smiles, but then after a second she just
I grab her real tight, and I fucking extend my Mage Hand out the goddamn window. Like, I put her through it with my Mage Hand, right through my fucking window.
Do you throw her, or you just, push?
No, I'm holding her.
Okay.
I'm holding her, but she is dangling over the edge of that fucking cliff right now. All I have to do is snap my cock, and she is gone. I look at her, and I'm kind of shouting at this point, because I imagine she's 10 or 15 feet out. I've extended it pretty far, and I'm like, this is what I like to consider pretty fucking funny. And what's really, comedic about this whole thing is that all I have to do is loosen my grip ever so slightly, and I start to loosen my hand a little bit.
Roll perception.
Just have to loosen it a little bit. You're a pancake.
Roll perception.
Dead. Yeah. And hold on. What's the bonus to that? Is that I've got +2.
So that's 13. You are about to loosen your fingers, and you see on your nightstand is a cupcake, and in ghostly purple it says "Happy Birthday."
I continue with my speech after I see the cupcake. I'm like, The bucket of water, in fairness, it was pretty funny, but honestly, I think this is a little bit more funny. All right, and I'm gonna keep loosening my grip slowly, just loosening it.
As you are loosening it, you see her mouth suck in some air, and she looks at you, and she can't say anything because of how bad your grip is, but you see her mouth the words, "Drop me."
I look at her and I'm just like, I'm assuming you have some way out of this, so, all right, go get him. And I drop her.
You drop her, and she just like standing there with this really stoic face as she drops, and you don't see her anymore. What do you do?
I just fucking cross my arms at the window and I wait with that cupcake. What do I do to investigate?
What are you investigating?
I'm investigating, like, I'm looking around. I'm seeing if she's actually fucking dead.
You just see her figure come back up as she levitates towards the window, and she says, "I learned something new today."
I look at her and I'm like, so did I. You can make a sweet ass cupcake, and I take a bite.
She laughs and she hops back into the window. She uses her levitation ability to go towards the ceiling, and she's just kind of like lounging about in the air, looking down at you.
I look at her and I'm like, so, you want to explain the whole levitation thing, or you just gonna hang out in my room like a fucking ghost?
Oh, no, I just wanted to show you what I learned. I'm one step ahead of you, and I think I'm gonna become the greatest dark sorcerer who's ever lived before you do.
Yeah. I mean, you go ahead and, think what you want. You might be dead later. I don't know. Just a feeling.
Or you could be dead after you eat that cupcake.
Yeah, maybe. You could be dead after I do this. And I go up to her, and I put my fucking hand in her face, and I go, and I reel it back. Make that scare her a little bit, please.
Well, then roll an intimidation.
Dude, I'm rolling for intimidation. I need to get the fake out.
Oh, 9?
That
9 plus what?
Oh, fuck yeah. I got a +2 to that.
So that's an 11. She's not very scared, but she goes, "Oh, I'm so scared, but would you be more scared if I went..." And you hear this echo that goes through your room as she casts this ghostly noise spell. It doesn't scare you, but it's really loud.
I was gonna say, I look around and I'm like, that's, I gotta hand it to you, that's pretty good, but it's not as scary as this. And I start fucking, like, flying around the room, just zooming around the fucking room like a race car, just screaming that, like, and I want the room to be shaking.
Okay, it shakes. It shakes a little bit. And then you just hear a bang, 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 bang from the other side of the wall. It says, "Hey! Try to sleep!"
I bang back on it with my mage hand. I'm like, hey, fuck you! Exposition, boy, what you know?
She levitates down and she says, "So, it's your birthday. What do you want to do today?"
You want to go terrorize some innocent townspeople for literally no reason?
Yeah.
Alright, shit, yeah, let's go.
Camera cuts to a shot of the mountain as you two are leaving the mountain, and then we cut to another shot of the village. And you guys are down there. It's not at night, but there is, it's snowing wildly, and the village people are surrounded this big campfire in the middle of town. What are you guys trying to do?
So they're around a fire.
Right.
How many are around the fire?
There's 3 people around the fire.
Okay. What do they look like?
Some of them are human, but then there's one big orc. He's not too big, but he's big.
I want to take the orc. I want to capture that fucking orc. That's what I want. I want to bring him back. The humans are they're expendable.
She says, "Okay, the orc. Are you sure you can handle this?"
Maybe. We'll see if he fucking kills me.
I don't think I mentioned this, but Rhea Embers is a halfling. I just said she was very short earlier, but she's this halfling person.
Oh, God.
And she says, "Okay, well, you're up first."
Alright. I introduce myself. I'm like, hello! What is good, my fellow townsfolk? And I sit down, and I slap my knee, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? What are we doing here?
One of the humans looks at you and he says, "We're starving."
Ah.
And you see he's like eating a shoe.
I get the 2 humans, and I'm like, hey, can you guys come with me real quick? Just only like 5 feet away from the fire. I gotta tell you something suspicious that I saw.
You got any food?
I got 2 of these crackers in my pocket from lunch.
They both leap up and they're like, "Yeah."
All right. I bring them like 5 feet away from the fire, we lean. It's kind of like a huddle situation. We lean in, and I put my arms around him, and I'm like, now listen, guys. Not that it's any of my business, but I saw that big orc dude sneaking a bunch of food. I don't know where he got it, but if you guys have had a sudden disappearance of food, I'd put my money on that orc. I mean, look how fucking big he is, you know? He doesn't look like he's starving. Eh.
They slowly turn towards the orc with their mouths now drooling after you said that. They both, like, kind of run over to him, and he says, "Wow, you son of a bitch!"
Shit.
You see them start, like, picking a fight, and the orc goes, "Larry, it wasn't. What are you talking about?" As they start beating the ever-living shit out of him. And he's not even doing anything. He's just putting his hands up. He's like, "I wasn't me. I swear to God. What do you want?"
Can I punch him in the mouth real quick and just break his jaw so he can't talk?
The orc?
Yeah,
Roll,
with Mage Hand.
roll a d20.
Rolling that fucking d20. You shut your bitch.
I'll give you a... Ooh. You know what? You know what, Ed? Do you remember what happens when you get a nat 1 with your wild magic?
I really do.
Can you roll a d100?
Alright. 6 and 4.
So
6 and
64.
4. It sure is.
Okay. There is a fog cloud centered on yourself that bursts forward through the village, so everything is covered in this ghostly purple mist.
Okay.
And she goes, "Good going, X-Lax."
This bitch. Okay. I'm imagining this purple smoke would probably be intimidating, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I am gonna point at the orc with my glowing ass mage hand, and I'm like, "Silence, orc! You fucking dolt bitch!" I'm like,
He shuts up.
Yeah, he does. I look at him and I'm like, "Listen, buddy, we all know that you're stealing this food, alright? And there's no way to repay the food that you ate. That's a debt that you can't repay to these people. They're probably gonna starve and die now because of your gluttonous appetite and hunger." So I look at him and I'm like, guys, I've got like a little satchel on my side, and I'm like, boys, and I pull out a loaf of bread, and I'm like, who's willing to make a deal?
It cuts to whatever you want them to do.
Lovely. I look at the girl, and I've just kind of got this face like, yeah, fuck you. I pull out the bread. I'm like, let's make a deal. All right. I'm imagining they look over, they're ready, and I'm like, boys, help me tie up this big fucking orc. And I whisper into the orc's ear, and I'm like, I find that whenever you want people to do exactly what you want them to do, if you really want to see just how much a human is capable of, it's really simple, actually. Deprive him of food. A man will kill his own kid for a fucking steak, I find. I mean, look at you right now. Am I lying? So they tie him up. I imagine I toss him the bread as I pick up this orc with mage hand, right? And I grab this orc by his legs. I just look at both of them and I'm like, "Oh yeah, guys, by the way."
Yeah?
Look at him and I'm like, here's the thing. That's my fucking bread. And I take the orc and I swing him as hard as I possibly can at both of them with mage hand. I don't let go, but I use this orc like a fucking flail.
One goes flying into one of the nearby tents they had set up, and the other one just gets knocked into the fire, and you hear him screaming as he's being burnt.
Fuck yeah. Alright. I've still got the orc in one hand. With my normal hand, I fucking waltz over, pick up my bread, and I take a bite. I'm like, yeah, my fucking bread, boy, and I put it back. And I look at her, and I'm like, grab the human, and let's get the fuck out of here. Not the one who burned, the one who...
She looks at you with crossed arms like she wanted to do something cool. So she grabs the human that got knocked out, and then she looks back at the human that's being burnt alive, and with her own version of Mage Hand, which isn't Mage Hand, she creates this bright blue dart that seems like an aura, and then she just kind of flicks it, and it goes towards the screaming human, and then he's no longer screaming. And then she turns back to you and she says, "Let's go."
I look at her and I say, "Nice going, X-Lax!" And then I keep going.
It cut back to the castle. Are you bringing the orc to Malik, or... Right.
I'm bringing his fat ass to Malik right now.
Rhea brings the human with you. She comes into the room with Malik as well, and you see him looking very surprised with the orc and human sitting there in front of him. And he says, "So, what do we have here?"
I look at him and I say, well, Pops, we were talking about test subjects, and I mean, maybe it's just me, but I find that 2 for the price of 1, usually a better deal, and kind of like smack the orc's cheek a little bit, like maybe your grandpa would do to you or some shit if he hasn't seen you in a while. Like, oh, hey, my boy. I smack the orc's cheek and I'm like, and look what we picked up. Look at this big fucking green meatball. I think that this gent will make for a lovely test subject. What do you think?
I think you did very well, Howland. As for the human, I don't know. Maybe he could be used as a good steak.
And I look at him and I'm like, well, in my defense, I didn't really grab that one. And I kind of look over.
Rhea just, and turns her head from the situation. She says, well, I wasn't the one who got a little bit too nervous and caused a fart explosion.
And I look at her and I'm like, yeah, and you also weren't the one who took out a fucking orc with your cunning, were you, bitch? Then I turn back to him and I just look at him and I'm like, forgive her. She did the best she could with this human. What more could you ask?
Not very much, can you? Rhea's very good at magic, but I don't think she has a good imagination. She puts her head towards the floor. What does Malik look like?
Malik, I imagine that he's a taller, slender old man with a bulky black robe with like orange symbols on it, but it's got runes around the sleeves of it and the bottom of it that sometimes glow with like a reddish orange glow a little bit. And I want to say that he's got one eye, and his other eye is like a magic. It's like a magic eye. It's just white with a rune carved into it where the pupil would be. And when he gets really fucking pissed, you better believe that eye starts to glow red. And I'd like to think it has some kind of magical shit that he can do with it.
It's white right now. The camera focuses on his face, and he says, "We've got work to do." And then the camera fades out. And then over the course of the several days, you and Malik and Rhea a little bit less, because she's got a lot of different studies she has with different people. You're mainly Malik. You're Malik's ward, I would say. Over the course of several days, you guys are working out these test subjects. You're trying to come up with some type of potion to create something that's going to allow you to control this person. Roll a d20 for me, just straight up and down. 2.
Bullshit. Mad, dude. Fuck these machines.
A lot of the potions you come up with don't work, and Malik tries hard to make you understand that you can't just throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. You kind of have to go combination by combination. And after a course of several days, he finally cracks it, and this is the scene. The orc is sitting there, bleeding, beat up, scars everywhere, and looks like stitching, as if things were surgically removed and then put back over the course of those days.
So essentially, he's big fucked.
Okay. Now let's try this. And he takes this big needle with his syringe and he sticks it into his neck and pushes it down, and he pulls out the needle and the orc goes limp and his eyes start to glow black and white, going back and forth, and he starts to drool, but he stops breathing and he says, "Breathe." And the orc starts to breathe and he says, "Walk." And he starts to walk. And then he says, "Sit." And he sits. "Stand up." Stands up. "Punch yourself in the face." And he punches himself in the face really hard. And Malik goes, "Oh, now that's what I'm talking about."
That's fucking right, baby.
What do you do?
I look at him and I'm like, maybe a couple more of these big fucking orcs, we might be able to make some real impact. We might be able to make what I believe the youths call big plays.
You're right. There will be some big plays being made. And you guys start laughing together, and the camera pans out, and we see Rhea just looking in on you guys, just watching as this happens, as you guys are laughing, and the orc is just sitting there. Then we cut to a few days later, while you, specifically Howland, you're in your room in deep sleep, and you just start to hear screams. What do you do?
Nut.
Hell yeah. I fucking nut. I'm like, oh, fuck! No, but I get out of my bed. I'm like, what the fuck? Just kind of pissed. I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck? I open my door and I storm down to where the screaming is.
The screaming is coming from several different places in the mountain, but there's also bursts of magic happening. You see lights. The camera cuts to a shot of the mountain as you see a huge group of people heading towards it with pitchforks and torches. And then we cut back to Howland as he's walking through this cavern, hearing more and more screams.
Oh, shit. Can I roll anything to try and locate, like, who's around me?
Roll a dexterity saving throw.
Which is what?
Dexterity.
Okay, what dice, David? What dice?
A d20.
Okay.
Also...
No, don't roll a d20. Roll a d20. And by the way, if this is lower than 5, I swear to God, I'm calling hacks on this machine bullshit.
Well, it's 5.
Unbelievable! This is bullshash!
Unacceptable!
It is! You know what, when you get in here, dude, and you start rolling like 2s and 3s, you're gonna know. You don't know. You will.
And as you're heading down this corner, the camera's in Howland's point of view, as you are about to turn this corner, and you just get punched in the face by this metal gauntlet hand. Take 2 damage. And you get knocked to the floor. And when you get knocked to the floor, you see that there's this big knight-looking guy with the sigil. It looks like this sigil that a toddler would make, like someone just made this out of nowhere. It looks like it's a makeshift sigil. It literally looks like the shape of a mountain outlined. He looks down at you and says, "It's time to take you out."
Oh.
Roll for initiative. 8, and he's gonna roll. And he's gonna go first. What's your AC?
Oh, that's 11.
He rolled a 16. With his, he's got this, what looks like a club, but it also resembles a baseball bat. He swings down onto you, and he does 3 damage. Now it's your turn.
Look at him, and I say, oh, it's time to end me. Oh, really now? I slowly get up, and I'm like, of course. Holding my arm where I hit it, and it's like, of course. Of course. I reach out to grab him with Mage Hand.
Oh, well, you grab him with Mage Hand, and you have him sitting there.
Okay.
And what are you going to do? Are you going to attack him?
Nope.
All right.
Let's play a little game. I'm going to ask you a question. Take your time, whatever. And for every second that you don't tell me what I want to know, I'm going to take my big-ass hand here, and I'm going to squeeze you a little bit tighter and a little bit tighter. The tightest embrace you have ever had. Sound good, buddy?
Usually I'd make you roll for this, but since we're in like a different scenario, I'm gonna let you just have him. Every time it's his turn, he's going to try and roll out of it to get out of it. So I'm gonna roll after you do your action.
Okay, can I roll against him to counter that?
You sure can. I'm just gonna roll against your DC spellcasting, which is what?
Yeah, it says 8 plus something.
Okay, so let's just say 13.
Okay.
What's your first question?
First question, who are you? Simple. Whisper in his ear, I'm like, surely you know your own name. You know your order.
We are the Mountaineers.
Give me a fucking break. Okay. Alright. Why are you here, my little armored chum?
We are taking back this mountain and the rest of this country.
Oh! That's weird, because last time I checked, I thought it was our mountain. Couldn't you just maybe write a letter, a note? You think we're bad? Not like us? Is that the deal here?
You've killed several of our messengers.
But of course. And I look at him like, we probably have. You probably see yourself as the good guy, don't you? In all this big fairy tale that we're in right now.
He doesn't say anything.
I'm gonna ask him one more question, and I'm gonna say, no, I'm not. I think we're done. I'm gonna look at him. I'm gonna go, no, man, you probably sit there in my tight grasp, and you're thinking to yourself, the villains always lose in the end, right? You're probably thinking that. We've all heard the fairy tales. We've all read the stories. But do you want to hear a secret that I learned a long, long time ago? You want to know? I get up real close to him.
He struggles.
And I whisper in his ear. I'm like, you know what? Every great story needs a good villain. And I think I'm going to play this one out. And I think I'm going to make an excellent villain. And I've got one more piece of truth for you, bud. The hero doesn't always win. And when I say that, I squeeze the fuck out of him until his eyes pop out like fucking grapes. And I whip his fucking body at the wall as hard as I possibly can.
That happens. You do.
Right.
You do that.
My mage hand disappears, and I look at him, and I'm like, cool guy. And I keep going down the hallway.
You hear and you see more mountaineers, and you see bodies of your slaughtered brethren just layering parts of the caverns. There's not a huge amount of people but you see mountaineers and your brethren alike there. And in the distance, you see more mountaineers coming down this cavern. And to your left, you see Malik's room.
Fuck. How close are these bodies to me?
Pretty close. They're like on the ground.
You know, I'm actually gonna leave the bodies. I am going to rip out a part of the wall with Mage Hand, and I'm gonna fucking whip it at the Mountaineers and then sprint to Malik's room.
Roll a d20.
God help me. Robot overlords, please.
Jesus Christ.
Come on, you gotta admit, this is fucked
No, it
up.
really
like,
is.
This is a little
Can
bit
you just
shit.
Can you refresh the page?
Yeah, I'm gonna refresh it and see, because that's honestly, like, that's kind of ridiculous. Like, I'm being completely serious. That's kind of fucked. Okay, thank you. Holy shit.
You hit him, they knock him down, and you rush into Malik's room. You see Malik, and he's sitting there. He's hurt. He's hurt bad.
Oh.
He's got this wound in his chest, and he's on his knees grabbing at it, and he's just coughing up, and he's looking up at this figure that is shrouded in this big black blur. You can't see what they look like. And Malik looks at you, Howland. In his hand and his eyes, they're red, and in his hand he pulls out his wisp color, and he points towards the figure. He screams, or he tries to, and he says, "Your eternity writhes in darkness." And the wisp hits the black blur. In a moment, the blur just kind of fades away for a second into the air, and then from the air comes down onto Malik, crushing him. And then this black blurred figure turns to you, and you can't see their face or any part of their body, and it just points at you. Wow. Roll a dexterity saving throw.
Boy, what's gonna happen?
And I'm gonna tell you, holy shit!
Yes! Ooh, I'm gonna fucking knock the life out of ya.
A nat 20! Holy fuck!
David, put me in! Put me in this fucking battle coach!
What do you do to get out of the way?
I fucking...
Not on the floor.
I use Mage Hand and I fucking hook it on to the side of the wall like a grappling hook, and I whip myself over there. Like just reel myself in real quick.
Yeah, you have an attack. You can attack them.
Fuck yeah. Alright, I am gonna cast Acid Splash, but I'm putting everything I have into this Acid Splash. Like I am...
Dylan, what the fuck?
You son bitch! You trying to run up on me, skater?
You act like I fucking raped your cat or something. I played harmonica one time.
Yeah, and that one time was more than enough.
While we're recording.
Yeah, this is a professional thing we got here.
Alright, continue, Eddie.
So I'm gonna channel just everything I have into this Acid Splash to the point where it turns it into just this purple, ghostly, miasmic acid. And I'm gonna aim it at this ghost creature thing, and I'm gonna just let go.
Roll a d20 with advantage.
Ooh,
Okay,
wait,
okay,
hold
so
on.
Well, hold on. Do I have a plus to attack or anything, or is it just like...
Not right now.
If you get those two in order, there should be something that happens. 9, 11.
I don't know. The tower comes down, a jet plane just has flown into the...
So, I'm gonna say the black blurred figure pops out of the way as you spray down on the floor, and then it moves, and you kind of carry your acid around it, trying to find it, but you still can't get it, and it stops as it's looking up at you after you have stopped your acid splash, and it makes a sound that you cannot comprehend. You can't even understand the language. After that happens, it sits there, and then the floor gives out from beneath it.
Shit.
Because of the acid.
But of course.
If you look down, it's in this big cavern. It's gone, it looks like. What do you do?
So we're just in a giant empty cavern now?
No. You're still in Malik's room, but there's a hole in the floor now. The black blurred figure has disappeared after you've made a hole in the floor, and you hear mountaineers just storming this mountain all over the place.
Okay, I'm gonna take Mage Hand, and I am going to pick up Malik and put him over my shoulder, and I would imagine right now I am just, like, it's go time. Like, if Howland was ever in some kind of, like, blood rage, this is probably that time. I want to pick up his staff, I want to pick up his stuff, just put it in my satchel, and I want to put Malik, like Malik's staff and his shit. I want to put that in my satchel, and I want to put him over my shoulder, and I want to fucking kick open the door, and I want to start looking for that one bitch with the black hair.
Roll a d20.
Let us see, baby.
Holy shit. Another nat
Yes,
20.
please.
You make your way with Malik on your back. You're in this blood rage. You're walking down this cavern, and you cannot deal with these mountaineers. Every time they come near you, just acid splash, and they just acid. And then another one comes near you, and just mage hand, they squish against the wall. That happens every time they come near you. And you finally make it to Ria's room. You open it up, and there's a couple mountaineers inside. Looks like they've looted this room.
Of course. I look at them, and I'm gonna say, I hope you're making yourselves right at home. Before I use a gigantic thing of acid splash, turn that whole fucking room into goo.
I'm not going to make you roll anything other than that.
Motherfuckers.
The whole room gets sprayed down, and her stuff, and her drawers, and her bed, and the two mountaineers inside of it just turn to acid as they all melt to the ground.
Fucking A.
What do you do now?
I investigate to see where she might have gone.
Roll an investigation. 3.
Shit.
I'm gonna say after you acid, you basically melted this entire room. You've decided now that I cannot see anything now because everything's melted. There's no possible way to go about this now. And you also hear a bunch of more mountaineers coming down these hallways, and Malik, just almost a lifeless grip, he just squeezes your shoulder and he says, "I must go."
Shit. I'm gonna do an incantation before I go. I'm assuming her room also had a window just like mine, and I'm gonna try to just jump out the fucking window. And I'm gonna do an incantation. I'm gonna do an incantation, and I am going to pray to whatever dark god we may or may not have that it finds her. And I'm gonna say, if you're still alive, I don't know how it's gonna reach her. I just imagine a glowing purple rune is floating in the air as I'm saying this ancient, cantation. And I want to say, we will find each other again. I'm still alive. The Order isn't dead. Our eternity writhes in the darkness. And I'm gonna blow it away, and it's gonna go through the walls trying to find her. And then I'm gonna jump out the fucking window with Malik on my back. Little Mally boy.
You jump out the window, and as you guys are falling to the ground, he casts Slow Fall. The wind takes you away from the mountain. And as you look back, the camera looks in your point of view again, as you see all these separate lights being snuffed out and then made whole as the lights get brighter and there's flames coming out of the windows, and you see more mountaineers heading into the mountain. And then you turn, and the camera finally finds you guys on the ground. Malik holding your hand as he's sitting down, and he says, "Oh, fuck."
My thoughts exactly.
"Howland, I don't have much time, and neither do you, if you don't get out of here quickly, and I will just be dead weight. I need you to do something for me."
Yeah, what is it?
He grabs his staff and he holds it closer to you, and he says, "I need you to take this and hide it. There will be plenty of people looking for it. I need you to take it and hide it. Promise."
I swear on our dark pagan god that I will. But, what about you? What the fuck you gonna do? You're dead. You want me to bury you somewhere, or... I mean, you can't expect me to just leave you here, fuck.
"You are going to have to. Our bodies may dissolve or die, but our eternity writhes in darkness."
God damn it.
As he says that, his eyes close, and he just lets go.
God. This is kind of fucked up, but I want his eye.
Okay.
I'm taking that fake eye. I'm gonna say, you know what? This is kind of fucked up. I won't lie to you, but I kind of feel like you'd want me to also have this, so I'm gonna take his eye and put it in my pocket. And I look down at him, but I'm like, I swear I will hide your staff, and I will fucking wipe out those goddamn mountaineers. As I look back at our giant fortress just blazing in fire, I just look down, and I cross his arms, close his eyes, and I just look down, and I whisper in his ear, "Our eternity will writhe in the darkness." And that's when I go.
The camera has the face of Howland as he runs past the camera, and the camera focuses on the mountain in the distance. and then it slowly fades into another shot of a different mountain with trees all around, and it's much brighter and sunnier. And then there's just this whoosh as this brown blur goes past the camera, and the camera moves with it and pans as this figure is on this vine as it's swinging through the trees. It finally jumps onto another tree branch and looks down, and we see a bugbear.
But of course.
You are looking down at this human who is running through this forest, and he's terrified. Rib is looking down at a human.
Oh.
So you see this figure running, scared human, through the forest, clearly away from you. You have just come in on your vine, and you've landed on this branch, and you're looking down. What does he do?
Am I in like a forest, like tree
Yes.
everywhere?
Yes.
I'm hopping from trees behind it, catching up to it.
Let's say you are hopping from tree to tree, and you're slowly catching up on this person. What exactly are you trying to do?
I want to capture them and eat them.
Roll a d20.
Do I immediately eat them if I roll this d20? Like I'm talking about, like I get them and there's a scene.
Yeah, there's going to be a scene. I'm not going to just...
Never mind.
Eight. Okay.
What is this under? Is this just an action?
This is just an action. I wanted to give it athletics. Athletics. Okay. So you swing from one vine as the camera is looking up, and then you let go of the vine, and you're coming down. You're about to snag onto this human as it just darts a little bit ahead of you, and you land into the ground with your claws into it as he just screams and goes and runs faster. You stand up and you're looking at him, and as you're looking at him, this direwolf just shoots right past you and towards the human. Camera's in the point of view of the direwolf as it jumps and grabs onto the human's neck and just as he stops and falls to the ground.
I walk up to the body and I cut off his left big toe. Or hers. I don't know.
It's a guy.
Okay, I cut off his left big toe.
You have to whisper in his ear, "Give me them toes."
He dead as hell.
You take off his left big toe. The direwolf, like with this bloody mouth and bloody teeth, just comes up, nuzzles against your knee as it picks up the arm in its teeth and looks at you.
Say that's fine, boy. Take it.
He was expecting you to pick it up and he was going to help carry
this
it.
bitch wants me to okay. Yeah, I sling him over my shoulder.
You know now that you have captured something or hunted that you have to take it back to your family in the caves.
I go to my family in the
Okay. And you enter into this cave that's like, it's not at all ceremonious, it's just dark, and you see just a little bit of a fire in the distance of his cave, and you see 4 other bugbears that you recognize as your... How many brothers and sisters do you have?
All 4 of them are my siblings?
Yeah, I have names here for them, and I'm gonna use these names.
You don't know my family.
Please let me use these names. It'll be
You don't
funny.
know my family?
Please let me use these names.
They're not basic-ass white old man names, so I don't like them.
They're not. Do you want basic old man names?
One of them has to be named Jimbo.
Okay, I'll name Jimbo.
Alright, think about it. My name's Rib and
No, Dylan, please let me do this. You gotta trust me, please.
Alright. I have 3 sisters and 1 brother.
So I'm assuming the brother is Jimbo, or...
Yeah, the brother's Jimbo. He's the youngest. He fell on his head as a kid. Doesn't walk right. He's fine, though.
Oh boy. I'm gonna love this. In the distance is the campfire that you guys have lit almost 24/7 to keep warm, where Jimbo usually sits there. In the corner, you have a pile of stuff.
Nice.
It's a pile of stuff that you have, like, looted off of all these bodies of people.
Okay, I thought it was like 3 dust bunnies and a napkin or something.
Have you ever heard of the Sunny Bean clan,
Shit.
Dylan?
I've heard stories, but not much when I was younger.
When I think of Rib's family, I think of this. Because they're just in a cavern, they hunt anything that's outside, and they bring it back, and they just put all their stuff everywhere. But
Who's the Sunny Bean clan?
oh, it was a group of just people that were very uncivilized.
Humans?
Yes, they were Scott. Humans who...
They went feral.
Squad and squats. Always coming into our territories, not respecting our borders.
They went feral, and they would hunt down everybody who was around, and they'd bring them back to the caves and just eat them. They were just cannibals. Anyway, you bring in this human, and you see Jimbo looking down the campfire, and he's next to this cage that also has the pile of loot around it. You see your sister, who's the oldest one, walk up to you, and she says, "Rib, you're late, I'm so hungry."
What's her name?
Armhead.
She'll eat when you eat. No one loved you. That's why you're named Armhead.
She starts stammering, and she goes, "Arr, arr, arr," and she, on all fours,
That's why Pa named you Armhead instead of Nutmeg.
and she wanders off a little bit. She's chewing on this bone that is left over from a couple days ago. Then your other sister walks up and says, "Come on, Rib, let's, can we get this stuff and put it in the other pile of stuff before we start to eat?"
You guys are fucking stupid. What is stuff? What do you mean? There's garbage over here or there's good stuff? Alright, let's put the good stuff over here. You guys want to eat so bad, but nobody want to go hunt. Okay.
Femur says, "It was your turn!"
Alright, Femur. Alright. I'll make sure you get a thigh. Bitch.
Femur is sitting there next to Armhead, trying to chew on the other bone. And then you see your other sister. She's kind of like stirring this weird pot.
You should just say the name after sister, as if there's a comma.
Your other sister, Glute, is sitting there, pouring a bunch of stuff into this weird cauldron that you've pulled away from a campfire after killing them a couple months ago.
It was a while ago, I guess. I don't know why you made that a question.
What do you do?
She's at a cauldron, just chilling?
Yep.
Well, I'm just chilling. Why am I about to go fuck with her?
Alright, that's fine. What are you doing yourself?
Well, I put the body down. I'm gonna tell him to start cooking it.
Which one?
Anyone who's antsy enough to eat better be antsy enough to cook. That's what I say to the room, and whoever gets up, gets up.
Jimbo looks over and says, "Eat!
Yes.
Eat!"
Yeah, Jimbo. Yep.
You got it, buddy.
Glute says, "Well, get rid of the stuff! I can't just cook without the stuff! Get the stuff out!"
I want you to know that my character has already had a lot of frustration with his family, because they don't see the world for what it is, and the way you're portraying them is honestly making me feel that in real life. It's pissing me off.
Eat!
I scream, "Pick up the goddamn stuff if you want it gone, and cook the shit right now." And I just go over to my wolf, and I go and hang out with him and avoid them.
I remember in the...
Alright, outside of the cave, is there like a cliff that overlooks the forest? Because that's what I'm imagining here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I go out there with my wolf, and we're just sitting on the end looking out. Is that under advanced dice roller?
No, just find a d20, roll it. Oh boy, nat 1.
I have +1 to that.
Nat 1s don't matter.
+1 to that.
Nat 1s don't matter.
+1. What the fuck could I just... I just don't hear the shit coming, or what?
Nope. An arrow right from the forest into the wall right next to you as you're looking down into the forest.
And I just don't see it? Or what was that perception roll about?
It was perception to see if the arrow was coming. It wasn't going to hit you. It was going to hit the wall.
I get up and I move away from a clear shot. I go prone and stare over the edge, barely peeking my head. What do I see? Nothing?
No, you see another group of humans who are looking down. They also... You can't really make it out, but they all seem to be wearing the same outfit.
They all see me what?
Be wearing the same outfit.
I can't make it out. I get my crossbow. Or my bow and arrow, I assume I have at this point.
It's still a crossbow. You came in with a crossbow.
Yeah, but back then I wouldn't have had the crossbow. I would have had like a long bow, much larger than a human would use. And I get it, and I'm still prone, looking over the edge as I tell my family to get ready.
Get ready for what? Eat!
There's a bunch of people out here, and they shot an arrow at me. So if you don't want to die, it's in your best interest. Just shut the fuck up.
Eat! They don't even have, regular weapons like you do. You're the only one with an actual weapon that you pulled off of them. They have these weird makeshift sticks that they just pulled together. They've got, weird metal chunks and a branch, and they head over near you, and they get into your position as well.
Okay, What do I see the people doing?
They are now they're scattering as they shoot another arrow towards you.
Are they coming closer? Are they...
They're trying to head up the mountain.
Me and my family spread out across the mountain the way that we would know about it, and we're essentially hidden, waiting for them to make a move, and I have line of sight.
Can you roll a stealth check? Nice. 18 plus what?
Plus 1, 19.
19. Okay. Let's say you're in the cave and you're hidden as a human man and wood elf and another thing you can't understand. You don't know what type of race they are because they're all in these full knight armor. They have a sigil. The logo is a sun, and they are entering the cave, and they see the pile of loot in the corner, and they head to that.
I crawl to the entrance of the cave. I come from above, and I peek my head into the entrance just from the top, and I peer in.
You see the human and the wood elf. They're looking at this.
How many people are there?
There's 4 of them. They're looking at this weird item on the loot. They all seem to be looking for something specific in the loot. Can you roll a perception? 3. You don't know what they're looking for. You don't know.
I'm telling did I not tell you?
Says the person who rolled 2 nat 20s.
Anytime I roll...
After I had to refresh
Anytime I roll perception, I'm assuming that I'm off my ass wasted at this point, so I have no idea what anyone's doing.
These robots are hacking.
You rolled a 3.
I throw a rock really hard at the wall of the cave, and then move away from the entrance.
They look towards it. The human and the wood elf both pull out their crossbows, and they start heading towards the entrance, and they make a hand signal to the one that the entire race is covered in this weird armor. So, like, you don't know what race they are, but their whole body is covered in this armor with this logo of a sun, this sigil. They start heading towards the entrance, and they look both ways after they look outside. The camera is, like, inside the cave looking out of the entrance, and they both go out of it, and then they look to the left, and then they look to the right.
Is there any large rocks around me?
I'll say there's a large rock.
I'm gonna push it on them. Any large rock near me, I push at max 3 if they're around me.
I'm gonna roll a d20 to see if they jump out of the way. Okay, so one of them...
Can you roll here?
I can't do that. Even when I... Dylan, even when we were together, I had
It's just an accountability thing. I don't know.
I understand, but like...
I can't be cheating. Eddie can't be cheating. But you could be.
I'm not, though.
You could be.
I'll tell you right now, I won't ever tell you again what they rolled. One rolled a 9, the other rolled an 18. I'm never going to tell you again, but that was just a form of trust.
Yeah. Alright, well here I go, rolling at home. Oh, well, I roll a 19, so what is it?
But even when we were together, I had a DM screen up so you couldn't see. So anyway, one of them jumps out of the way, back into the cave as this big boulder just comes crushing the wood elf. And now the human, one of them that you don't know, the unknown, and a dwarf is sitting in the cave. What do? As they are all now in defense, but they seem to be trapped like shooting fish in the barrel. Your sister Femur says, "What do you want us to do?"
Oh my god.
Eat!
No, see, because like I wish you hadn't said anything, because I was going to do the signal I had in Soulwood, but now it's past that.
Okay, we can recant that.
No, you already...
Come on, Dylan. Come on.
That makes me mad. Oh, no, not just the fact that they're that annoying, dude. I want to shoot them. I don't even care about these people in my fucking house. I say, and then my wolf does it back. But we're on opposing sides of the mountain.
Right.
Are these people looking around now?
Yes, they are. They're looking around weird. One of them says, What the hell is that?
I whisper, follow my lead, as I rush to tackle one, but the way that I want to tackle him is quite some distance from the other one, so I take him deep inside the cave, and while my family would come behind me at the other one, or the other two.
Right. Which one are you going for? The unknown, the human, or the dwarf?
The unknown.
Okay. You jump at the unknown just out of nowhere, pushing them farther into the cave, and then the human...
It's like a tackle, but at the end we roll in distance.
And then the human looks back at where the unknown has gone, and then after that, you hear, "Eat!" And then a scream as the human gets pulled back by Jimbo, and then the dwarf lifts up their axe and tries to bring it down onto Jimbo, but then Femur grabs the axe and shoves it down his mouth and twists it, hurting him very badly.
Is this the payoff for Howland getting bitched in Soulwood by a dwarf, or...?
No.
and then you see Glute come down and hits the human as Jimbo is also eating it, and the human's still screaming, and then Glute starts eating the human as well, and then the screams disappear.
I'm with the unknown now, and the human and the dwarf are dead, or about to die at least. And I say, who the fuck are you guys?
You don't hear anything.
Alright, I say...
You want to cause intimidation?
No, he's a pussy. I need to do something first. I look at him. I look him dead in the eyes. I grin, and I open my mouth as if I'm about to say something, and I say, and at that moment, my wolf starts walking into the cave, menacingly into view of unknown. And now I want to roll intimidation, possibly with advantage, if he's afraid of large animals looking at him.
He's not. I wouldn't say he's afraid of large animals.
And I would imagine my call would alert my family to the presence of one more being.
Okay, so the camera is in the unknown's point of view as it's looking up as your face is there, and then the wolf pops up, and then your family all just kind of puts their heads over this character. Take advantage. Take advantage.
I did 16 and 8.
Oh, okay, so 16. What's your remember you're proficient with intimidation.
Well, my charisma's +1, but that's +3 proficiency. Is that +4 or is it +3?
+3. So that's a 19. He says, "Okay." No, wait, I've done that. So he says, "Okay." No. What's give me an accent. Give me something.
I don't know what the fuck this thing is.
Okay. Do that.
Okay.
Wisecracking gangster from the 20s.
Okay.
Unconfident, though, because now he's scared.
Okay.
He just got caught at a bank robbery and his friends dipped.
Okay. I got it. We are the sons of the forest.
And who made you the sons of the forest and not, the animal people before you?
God did.
Which one? Who are you talking about? Every one of you that comes through here has a different one?
The one and true God. Floral.
Dylan, I need you to pull Dutch from Red Dead 2 right now, please. Please.
Oh, so you got faith, you say. So what are you doing here, being a dumbass?
We are here to spread prosperity through the entire forest and alert them to who we are.
3 dead bodies does not equal prosperity, my good sir.
That's prosperity that you are giving.
So what is prosperity to you?
The opportunity to join the Sons of the Forest.
Remove your helm. Let me see what you look like.
He removes his helmet, and you see, staring at you, a bugbear. A bit skinnier and filed down teeth. Hair is trimmed, but it is a bugbear.
So he's a fake ass pussy bugbear.
Damn, I wish bugbears had horns. Do bugbears have horns?
I don't think so.
I didn't want them to have horns until there was an opportunity to quote the outlaw from Stranger's Wrath, who says, "Get them pants off."
Hell yeah.
This guy's a Steve? He ain't got no horns?
Well, you can say that. He doesn't have horns.
Well, yeah, but that wouldn't... Yeah. Who the fuck made you into what you're standing here before me acting like?
Our god, Floral.
How'd you meet this god?
This god came to us and explained what they needed. A group of their own men.
To do what?
To spread prosperity through the forest, I swear.
To just kill people? Or...
We weren't going to kill. We needed to garner your attention.
You have my attention, now what's the fucking point?
You want to join the Sons of the Forest?
Squash his fucking head like a grape, please.
Tie him up.
All
I
right,
say to my family.
Jimbo says, "Eat!" as he ties them up.
No eat, Jimbo. No eat.
Femur grabs rope and throws it to Armhead, who just runs around the figure a few times as Glute holds him up and they tie him together. I know we've talked about this before. I'm not sure if you wanted to retcon it, but what is your direwolf's name?
This is hard to talk about, right? How long ago is this flashback?
Much before Soulwood. I don't know. When do you want it to be?
My direwolf's name is Lilac.
Lilac.
Mother to Schmubbles.
Yes.
Alright.
Last of the direwolves we used to run with.
Alright, I like this. The bugbear says, "So, I'm assuming you aren't interested."
Are you from Vault Tech?
I was gonna say, why the fuck you making this dude sound like the big pill from Osmosis?
Oh my lord,
Like,
dude.
Like, telling me I'm wrong. Telling me that's not exactly who that is.
No, dude, it's John Mulaney.
I was thinking John Mulaney.
Like, literally, as you went to that little, like, I guess you're not interested, that's the kind of shit humor that John Mulaney does.
He wrote it.
So I guess
it can get weirder. Sorry.
That's what I'm saying. I say, Jimbo, in body parts, eat what you want of the dead, but leave him. As I go outside, I cut 2 trees to make sort of an X out of wood that stands on its own.
Right.
And I bring that back to the cave, and I have him tied to it, each limb to a different part of the X.
Okay.
The armor is gone.
Right.
Fulfill your legacy.
Is my family done eating?
Armhead is eating her cuts, which is the arms and the heads. Femur is eating her legs. Glute is eating the pelvis, and the torso is left for you. Like always.
I feel like I've had this is amnesia, and I'm just now learning about my life.
Yeah.
At least I got the best part. Let's be real.
Jimbo gets the feet.
No, that's why he's... it wasn't the fault.
And Jimbo is holding all of the feet. Again, he's pointing to the toe, the missing toe on the left foot, and he says, "Eat!" And Femur says, "Why are all these people you bring missing left toes?"
Say, well, I'll explain that to you. And I'll explain it to our friend here. I pull up a rather large boulder. Now, this is kind of a struggle for me, but I hide it flawlessly. It's a really big boulder. It's one that we use for sitting. It's been in the same corner my whole life.
Ooh,
we really don't try to move it, but we could if we had to. Usually 2 people would do it, but 1 dude could kill himself to do it. But I, having an 18 plus 4 strength, I can hide it. And I push it over. And that's kind of intimidating on its own. It's a power move I'm flexing on this dude. And I sit there and I pull out this thread. It's almost a necklace, but I don't wear it all the time. It is a necklace, but it's not a really good chain for a necklace. It's like a fishing line, like a really shitty fishing line that'll hold up for a while. And I set it on the ground. And then I pull out a needle and a knife. And I cut the string. And I put half of it through a needle. Out of the darkness and into the light of the fire, you can see there's about 20 left toes already on there. And I sit there, working a needle through all the bone of the toe, pushing it on. And I tell him, with all the work I do around here, I figured I might as well take something to remember it. Those are lives we're taking out there. They gotta mean something. I say, hey man, what's your name?
Well, that's funny. I have 2.
Tell me the name before you found God.
Well, that was Scrape.
And where were you from, Scrape?
I was from here. Not exactly here, but the forest. It's a big forest. I lived in a hole.
Like this hole? Or a low hole?
A low hole, I suppose.
Did you live amongst short humans?
No. No, I didn't.
Some might call them hobbits in your little hovel.
I sure did not.
Who were you raised with? Or by?
Bugbears. My family. It's the issue I had was they were just not on my level.
On your level how?
All they wanted to do was kill and eat, kill and eat. It was maddening. Don't get me wrong, on the fun nights that we tried having, they wouldn't even... All they wanted to do was eat and hunt and kill, and it gets boring when that's all the type of people you get to talk to. It's maddening sometimes.
And you weren't into the killing or the eating at all?
I eat to survive. I eat to live. They lived to eat.
Do you enjoy the hunt or the battle?
I enjoy the battle, but I never enjoy the killing.
And you thought faith would be your way out?
If you had ever met Floral, you would have understood.
I'm not so sure, Scrape. See me? I feel the same way.
Scrape was my...
Shut up, Scrape. Look at the position you're in. I felt the same way. We kill, we eat, we survive. There's 4 of us here. Parents are gone. 1 dire wolf left. That's it. That's all of us. And that's what we have to do. And I know my family doesn't pull their weight when it comes to hunting. Giving them a chance to speak up, but they don't.
Armhead says, Now, my father, Dim, was very... He wasn't the best person, but he taught me who I was to be. And Glue says, yeah, and our mother, Vin, really taught us that family was what is really important. And then Jimbo says, eat! And then Femur says, yeah, we got it.
You see what I deal with, Scrape? You wanna know how I get through it all? I've learned to love my own thing. It's a part of me now. It's this crossbow here. I maintain it. You ever seen a bugbear with one of these?
I have not, no.
Well, it's the little things. Every day you deal with so much. Take the little things out of it. Right now, I'm sitting here pretty annoyed that you think some faith, some other people, is your answer. Have you ever thought about uniting bugbears?
It's hard to when all they want to do is just kill and eat. I'm here right now and all you want to do is kill and eat me. What does that say?
Have you been eaten or killed?
I came damn close.
How about your friends, the non-bugbears? How close did they come?
Very, they are. They're dead.
And you see the difference between you and them.
Which is I'm a bugbear?
Yes, and that's the connection we have. And that's the only connection our people have. Those humans, that dwarf, those elves, they all want us dead. We're all fighters. We all have to live like this. We've never had a strong leader. We've never had strong leadership. It's all kill and eat. It's all kill and eat. And you think faith's the way out? Abandoning your people's the way out? No, that's not it. Where is your family at?
They're gone. In their little hole.
They're gone?
They're gone.
Gone?
Yes, gone.
As in dead.
No, they're home, in their hole. I left. They're gone.
How many were there?
There was 2.
How could you leave your family of only 3 people?
I couldn't deal with it. They were my family. Yes, it just there was my mom, my dad, and then the village of bugbears who just it was insane. It was at Hauser's Row.
A village of bugbears?
Yes, Hauser's Row.
Where's that?
It's pretty far. It's not here. That's for sure.
If you say one more dumb thing like that, the hospitality is gone.
It's near Umanu, which you would... Wait, would Howland know... Oh, not Howland. Would Rib know more about, like...
No, but I don't think it matters the way I'm taking this conversation.
Okay, he says, it's near Umanu.
Alright. And you know how to get there.
I mean, I suppose, yeah?
Well, how about this? I'll spare your life, as long as you pledge your life to the bugbears and whatever cause I choose. And you forget the faith that you've so kindly taken up.
Roll persuasion. 5. I'm sorry, sir, I understand. But I would rather die than live by those requirements that my family put upon me, and now you, sir, are putting upon me.
How unfortunate. I go closer to him. I'm growing bored of this conversation and of your morals. Point me in the direction of this bugbear village.
Before I do that, I have 2 questions. 1, what is your name?
I'll answer depending on the second question.
Damn it, I was gonna steal your soul by knowing your name. No.
Got his ass.
Are you going to kill me?
Well, we've already decided. That was the choice. Your life or your life. Taking it one way or another. One way you might like, though.
He basically tells you exactly where Hauser's Row is, near Umanu.
Thank you. You've got until Jimbo realizes you're free meat to change your mind. I'm going out there to make more arrows and prepare for the walk ahead. I walk out of the cave. Do I hear anything from him as I leave?
He says, wait!
What is it?
He stops and he says, the sons of the forest will live on past me. Expect more to come.
I never gave a damn about no one's children but my own, and I've never had any children.
Did you take off his armor?
Yeah.
Can I say that you just took off, like, his arms and his legs?
Why?
Because I have this cool reveal? Is that cool?
Only if I'm walking back in to take it off.
Okay, go take it off.
I approach him. As I say, man, how did my incompetent family miss this part? Hey, Jimbo, take a look. As I pull off his chest plate.
He yells, "Eat!" And he starts running towards him, but as he's running towards him, you see that this man is wearing a belt with a silver plate on it, with a rune on it, that I don't know if Rib knows what the rune means or not.
Jimbo's coming past me, and I grab him by the fur of the neck and yank him back. He's the youngest, and he's sickly, so he's pretty small, and me being... The way I imagine it is like, I'm just... Like in Game of Thrones, how there's Sam, and then Dickon at the end. Not the first Dickon, it's Dickon.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They joke about Rickon. Yeah, but like, that's the size difference, the competency difference in fighting.
I got you.
Oh, yeah, I yank him back. Say, what's that fucking belt?
I won it.
Where would you win that at?
I won it at the Bison's Tongue.
Now, what in the hell is the Bison's Tongue, besides the tastiest part?
It's where you can, bet your own body to see if you can win. If you're strong enough. The best fighter.
And you the best fighter. Okay. You got taken out without even hardly trying.
Would you like to wager?
Yeah. Here's the wager. I bet that Jimbo here can eat right through that nice little chest of yours into that heart before it stops beating. What do you think?
I say you face me mano a mano. If I win, I walk. If you win, you get this belt.
I walk over to him, and I cut the belt off, and I hold it in my hands, above the fire. No. I dump out the cauldron, place it above the fire, and then I hold the belt above the cauldron, as if to melt down everything with it. The metal plate and the ruby. Rune, all the same. I say, tell me about this fucking belt, or it goes away, and so do you.
It's the belt of power. The rune means power.
What kind of power?
That you are the most powerful. It's a symbol of being the most powerful. And if you just take it from me, you won't have that symbol. It won't mean anything. You just stole it. You beat me, and you can have it and the title.
Okay, I'll take your wager.
All right, let me go then. Weapons or no weapons? Usually, the matches are no weapons.
I don't think it'll matter. I walk over, and I go to cut his legs free, but as I cut the rope, I slit his Achilles on both sides.
Fuck.
And then I cut his hands free, and I say, let's fight.
Oh, fuck. Okay. You do that, and he wails in pain, and he says, "That's not fair."
I'm sorry. If you think this story has a happy ending, well, you haven't been following along.
And roll for initiative, I guess.
Before that, I say, you still want to fight?
Oh my god, hold on. He rolled a nat 1.
Well, I'm giving him a chance to get out of it, knowing his role.
I'll be out in a second, Mom. I'm masturbating. I'm gonna masturbate soon, right now.
Just tell him you're playing D&D, and you've been playing this for months, and if you don't play it right now...
He said...
Oh, fuck. Why was it so loud? Can you edit that over when I scream?
Okay.
Put it at the beginning of the scream, or make it when my wolf howls back.
He says, "No, I can do this. I will die on my knees, I guess. But the principal's still there, because he can't stand up. And he puts up his fists. You roll first." Fuck. Are you shitting me? He rolled a nat 1, you rolled a nat 20?
So it's just a fucking joke at this point. Like, it's
Oh man,
pathetic.
that's funny. I roll him over to his stomach, or to his back after kicking him in the ribs, and I put knives through both of his hands into the floor.
Oh boy. He screams out again. "You will rot in hell."
Well, at least I'll be warm. All the while, I do what I do next. I'm giving him opportunities to give in and just do what I want. Because he's a bugbear, and I'm gonna make this really slow. Until he says yes, or he dies. And I take a knife from Jimbo. It's a really small knife that we give him. It's used for skinning when we go hunting. He can't carry a regular knife because we don't trust him. And I take it, and I don't press down to cut him. I just drag it along his chest, as if to trace out the lines I was going to draw. As I keep telling him, man, you could give this up. Tell me everything you know, and you just help me out. We can make this work.
He screams. He screams, he screams, he screams.
Oh, come on. A man so powerful, such as you, should be able to deal with a little pain.
You call this a little pain?
Compared to what's gonna be.
You look at him as you're doing all this stuff, and he's about to pass out.
I punch him in the face and knock him out. I don't end up cutting him, but I tie him back up. Or, well, no. I lay him down somewhere, and I tie him to wherever he's laying. But I'm not killing him today. I go out to go make more arrows and get ready for the travels. Because I plan on going where he talked about the Bugbear Village.
Hauser's Row. Alright, here's the scene then. You tie him up, Jimbo looks up and says, "Eat?"
No, Jimbo. No eat. You literally ate 4 people.
And then Rib walks away, and he's got a piece of paper, and the camera is looking at him as he's writing this stuff down, and he's making arrows, and he's got like a sling, and Lilac is walking around him as he's doing this, and she sits at his feet, lays down, and then the camera pans to a shot of what he's writing down, and he writes down Hauser's Row on a map of the world, where it is near Ormanu, and then the camera cuts.
Ormanu, I've come to bargain.
You know, I never wanted to hurt him, but he was being a bitch.
Dylan, here's the thing. He insisted upon it.
I know, and I wanted to flay him, but he's a bugbear. That's the only thing. Like, if it was that dwarf, I really wish I had picked the dwarf, because then I wouldn't have felt bad.
That's what I was telling you, goddammit. You didn't listen. Sad.
It makes more sense narratively.
I also picked up the axe from his body.
Okay.
That's mine now.
That's fine.
And also, I want it to be known that I got things to take care of him to the furthest extent of my knowledge of bugbear medicine, which is a 13 plus 1 wisdom. He's not feeling good. I don't have painkillers, but he's not going to die. And I'm also sitting there waiting for him to wake up. But, I walk away sometimes. But I am, mindful of it.
You can, reference this in the future, but that was it. That was your origin. We could reference and flash back to this.
Damn, dude, that was so much better than Soulwood. I want to keep playing that.
That's just because you look so good.
No, I know, but, I wanted to look like the good guy because I never wanted to kill him. I did what the FBI would do.
Yeah, but the information you wanted from him, he gave.
No, what the fuck was the rune belt? Strength of power. It just means you're the best, or does it have some kind of power? Runes generally mean something more than that.
Well, you have it now. The camera cuts to a shot of the castle as it pans up to the coral castle in the pink sands of Xander, and then it cuts to a slow motion shot of people dancing to a guy just on stage singing, and then it cuts to other shots of people dancing, and then it cuts to another shot of places in the castle, and then it cuts to you guys in one room as you both wake up in your beds. And it's been a week.
My hand's on my cock when I wake up.
I just imagine I'm levitating above my bed like the X.
It's been a week since you guys have been in the Coral Castle, and Eldric, which was that guy who turned into a proboscis...
Yeah, the old fucker.
Yeah, Eldric and Magwell Sire, the ghost, have said that they'll get back to you on what they want to do with you. And what have you got? Oh, Dylan, Delilah. You and Delilah have been hanging out.
Oh, God. Oh, I didn't mean that. I'm not with her like that. It was just like that one time I was just like, hey.
Yeah, but you guys have just been hanging out.
So it's like Wedding Crashers? Like I stayed for the reception?
No, Dylan. You put your hand on her shoulder.
So,
I'm just like, hey, you got some faith.
Got any of that goddamn faith?
So, there's a rave happening. There's usually a rave every night. Or not even a rave, a dance. Where people just go out there to have fun. It's a fun atmosphere.
What kind of stuff do they do at the rave? Do the kind of stuff that Rib would do, or what?
Well, I mean, some of them that do, definitely. Not all of them, but some of them do.
What kind of stuff do they do out here in the desert?
They do have some things that they use to have quote-unquote fun.
Interesting.
But there's a knock on your door.
I say, who the fuck is it?
Camera cuts to a shot of the door as it opens, and
I put my pillow over me.
All right, Howland, you see a penguin sitting there with a note.
What kind of penguin?
Fuck's sake.
It's an empire penguin. Emperor
God.
penguin.
Is he cute?
Dylan, remember the dude from Happy Feet that had the beer can stuck around his neck? He was like a prophet.
Yes.
That's what that
Oh,
is.
that's awesome, dude. I take the pillow off my head and I look up and I sit up. I'm almost saluting him with how much respect I'm giving him at this point.
It walks up and it hands you a note and then walks out of the room.
Wait, me or Ellie?
Rib.
I read the note.
I just turned back. What does it say?
Says you're a piece of shit.
No, you.
Your mother.
I just spell out countered in purple flame. Hell
It
yeah.
says Eldric's room as soon as possible.
I tossed a note on the floor. He said he's trying to have a date with you or something. He wants you to go see him.
Dude, asshole, I can read it from here.
Alright, we'll go together if you're so nervous about it. Do you like him already?
See, here's the thing. Here's the thing, and I sit up. I'm like, Eldric is kind of a bitch, and there's, a rave going on. Now, I'm not saying we have to, but, how do you feel about swinging by?
You know me. I fucked around one time and ended up in a tree place where they tried to kill me. But I'll do it again.
I was gonna say, if you're trying to tell me that you would rather go talk to Eldric than go to a rave right now, I might have to really question.
Do you know who you're talking to?
Yeah, I'm talking to a big stinky fucking bugbear. What do you mean?
Yeah, this isn't just any old big stinky bugbear. This is motherfucking Rib Van Dim.
Yeah?
I look like goddamn Greg Sestero.
Didn't you have a brother that was mentally handicapped?
Hey, don't talk about Jimbo like that, you piece of shit. I go to slap him, but then I stop. I hold his face, and I say, don't say that again, sweetie.
That didn't happen. I countered it with Mage Hand.
But I wink at him, and I'm like,
Grab
no
your
homo.
fucking arm, dude, and I throw it
No,
down.
I said
I'm like,
no
"Get outta
homo,
here."
dude, chill.
No, you didn't even grab me. I fucking countered you with Mage Hand.
And then when you brought up Mage Hand, I was like, no, you. And you dropped Mage Hand right away because you respect the game.
Nah, it didn't happen. It's not canon.
I'm trying to end this, and you guys are like just making it go.
No, David, I want to play through the fucking Pink Castle.
I gotta end it. We're like over 2 hours right now.
So we'll stop it here,
Whatever,
save
dude.
it.
Just don't tell me.
Stop it here,
Just don't
save
tell me
it,
that
and
we
then do
never
it
wanna
again.
play.
Oh, you're trying to go watch the Royal Rumble. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Whatever, dude.
But you guys said you could only do a couple of hours.
Yeah, now it's changed. We didn't even get to the Pink Castle yet. Now we're here.
You are in the Coral Castle right now.
Yeah, and there's a rave and a room we gotta go to. And whatever happens after that, I don't want to stop until I want to stop.
Can we just for right now go to
I'm
Eldric?
feeling the energy right now, though.
Can we go to Eldric's room?
Eddie, do you
I
want to
really
play?
want to see.
I do.
I really want to see. Okay, can we do this after?
David, we've waited a whole year to play, and now you're gonna cut it short.
Dylan, I want to see. Royal Rumble is the only thing I care about.
It's recorded, dude. Just record.
It's not. My friends are over.
Record it. Oh my god.
Otherwise, I'd watch it later.
Wow.
I'm already 2 hours late with the Royal Rumble.
All right, let me rewind time. All right, said I can read it from here. All right, I'm like, what do you want to do?
Let's go to his room.
Ah, fuck! And I snap my fingers, and the note sets on fire. Purple flame.
And then you guys are ushered there. Not ushered there. You guys head to Eldric's room, and you open the door, and you see him sitting there. And he turns around, and he's this old man. I base him off of looking like Jorah Mormont from Game of Thrones.
Hell yeah.
He's got this cobbled together armor that looks like a bunch of different sigils and whatnot all on top of him. And he swings around and he says, "Oh yes, Rib and Howland. How do you do?"
Good evening, sir!
I'm alright.
He grabs his ears after you say that. He sits back down and he says, "So, I need your help."
I look at him and I'm like, Gramps, you want to know what I need? Is, a cherry pie that'll kill me and some black coffee. Do you know where I can get that?
This is...
At a lunch table with Marilyn Manson.
No, bugbears don't know what that is. They're stupid and gross. Spell out countered again, whatever.
Here's the thing, every time we start playing this, I'm like, Eldric's gonna be nice to these boys. And then you guys just make him not want to be nice to you.
Why?
Like, I called him Gramps, so what do you mean? Come on now.
What is it?
Off.
This is a matter of importance for you to, and it's kind of a matter of proving your worth. We have a man gone missing, and we don't have anyone else who we could fill this position on this mission.
Are you sure you didn't accidentally turn him into a flea?
Oh.
I'll help you if you explain to me how the animal transformation works and how we could change it.
He pulls back at his armor a little bit, and he says, "We can talk about it if you help us out."
I guess that's fair.
I cross my arms and I look at him and I'm like, well, why us? I'm sure you got plenty of fucking people in this giant pink castle. Why exactly do we need to be the ones to do this?
Just look at me. Just look at me, Howland. I'm a goddamn stud who wouldn't need help. Go on.
Honestly, you smell like
Hey,
shit. And I
hey,
mean, if that's
hey,
what you meant,
hey.
you know.
That's racist.
Not really, you just smell
That's
like shit.
racist.
I spell out countered again in red flame.
First of all,
But he does it really gay with his fingers. Like he's on the Disney Channel or some shit.
first of all,
No, I couldn't hear that over the smell of bugbear.
first of all,
It's weird for two senses to just get mixed up like
and he
that.
screams again. First of all, I don't have any ready participants ready to go. A lot of the people here don't necessarily have to work in the militia army we are working with. I just need you.
Yeah, what was it? What's that rave about?
It's a matter of people having fun. That's what people do here in the after hours.
So you're telling me you don't have other people, but...
You need work done, but a man's missing and there's raves going on? They're happy right now? We're not worried about this dude? Like, you seem worried about this dude. And I'm here for you. I'm gonna help you. But I'm just wondering what's going on.
Some people aren't good or ready or trained enough to go into the field, and I think that you two are.
So what you're saying is that we're both pretty great.
I think... No, hold on. I think what he's saying is that after 5 days of knowing us,
I'm gonna miss the royal rumble.
we seem better than everyone in this room. Alright. Everyone in this
I
castle.
mean, if that's the way you want to put it.
I mean, you agree, right? That's what it seems like.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't disagree.
I'm about to send you on a mission, and if you need someone to come with you, I do have someone who could come with you. If you'd like to go alone, that's fine, but I need someone to
Who
go
is
now.
the person you could send with?
Delilah, you two know each other.
Hey there, Delilah. What's it like in New York City? I'm a million miles away, but girl,
Dylan, I'm
just
missing the
snap
Royal
me
Rumble.
a titty. Yes, you do.
Damn.
Yeah.
Would you like Delilah to come with you?
How good is she at fighting?
She's really good at fighting. She is a monk, and she's very good at that.
So she's not a liability.
No, she's not. I'm gonna say out of character, if you guys want to go on this like buddy cop thing, I would thoroughly enjoy that. If you guys want to go by yourselves, that's completely fine. But also, narratively, would you and Howland actually take Delilah with?
That's...
I think I would drag her along, and Howland would be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, no, that's pretty much... I'd be like, dude, I don't...
Well,
Get away.
both of you make the decision right now, please.
I'd be the louder voice in the room, and the old man would agree with me. I think it would just end up with her coming anyway, and Eddie begrudgingly, nothing he can really do at that point. I think that's how it would all shake out.
I wouldn't say that. I'm gonna say we do a thumb war.
No,
Dylan, roll a d20.
on a thumb
Alright,
war.
roll a d20.
Dylan, roll the d20 for the thumb war.
Fuck.
Alright, she's coming.
Oh boy, 16 is 7.
Ah!
Alright, she's coming. He hands you two blank masks. You'll have to wear these just as a formality. They're a symbol, and it'll protect your identities. All we need you to do is I need you to find a man in the field who's been missing. His name is Alphonse, and he was taken, and the last known location was in Hansome.
What does your boy look like, sir?
Tall, dark figure with black hair, curly. He's a bit gaunt, and he is a wood elf. No, I don't like that. He's a half orc.
Make him a giant with dwarfism,
Alright.
so he's like 8 foot tall.
He's a half orc.
Okay, I look at him right in his eyes, and I'm like, don't worry, sir. We're gonna get your boy back.
I sure hope so.
Just start thinking about what you're gonna tell me.
What do you mean?
The changing of animals,
Oh, yes, of course. Don't worry.
and I hope it's not some BS.
Of course.
We'll work on that. And then he scribbles something on a piece of paper, and he says, "These masks will help you in the future. They're just blank for right now. We don't have time to work on those. Meet Magwell and Delilah in the portal room."
Okay, we go to the portal room.